What is up,
Dipping my toes right back into the 2-5 pool at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Is my bankroll ready for it? Absolutely not.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Boulay Poker, and this is my cringe-worthy introduction. I'm gonna stop now.
I'm Kyle. Come join me as I dive into the ups and downs, the wins, the losses, and everything in between. From poker tips and strategies to behind-the-scenes looks at my life, there's a lot to explore. So hit that subscribe button, like the video, and ring the bell for notifications. Let's stack those chips together and enjoy the ride. This is Boulay Poker.
We are heading to Mohegan Sun for some 2-5. Stopped at the gas station to get my tall boy Diet Cokes because I'm not playing poker without some Adderall and some Diet Cokes. And when I was in there, it was cash only, and there were two truckers in front of me, and they only had cards. And they were like, oh no, they seemed to have their breakfast, and they're like, all right, I guess I'll, just put it back. All I have is a card. And I was like, guys, I got you. I got some cash on me. I'm a firefighter. People do it all the time to me. I'll pay it forward. Give me some good karma for the poker table. And I know it's is it really good karma if I'm talking about it and putting it on my channel? But fucking, it's good karma. I did it. The money came out of my pocket. So we'll see if that gives me some run good at the table. Let's go, guys.
All right, friends, we're diving into this 2-5 game with a cool $1,000. The first hand worth mentioning is in the small blind with 8-4 of clubs. I adore suited connectors. I don't care if they're the lowest possible, furthest apart suited connectors. I love them. It's like having a pair of socks that's almost the same color, but not quite. There's a limp in the hijack, and I decide to crank it up to $12 total. The big blind and hijack call, and we're off to a three-way flop of 8, Jack, 5, 2 hearts. Normally I'd check my entire range here, but I'm feeling a bit rebellious and want to keep my opponents guessing. So I elect to c-bet with my middle pair here for $15. This bet should encourage my opponents to call with their weak shit and raise with their strong shit, which is exactly what they do when I get 2 quick calls. It's like they're saying, sure, why not? I have some weak draws or whatever. The turn comes out an offsuit deuce, and I continue my aggressive streak with a $40 bet. The big blind just calls again, which narrows his range to flush draws and middling pairs. If this river bricks off, it's time to unleash the big boy bet. The river comes, and it bricks as much as it can with a 7 of diamonds. Now the best bluffs are the ones where they call the flop, call the turn, and fold the river. So let's make sure he does that. I bet $95, which now looking back is way too small. Should have bet more to make sure he gets off of those Jack X hands, make sure he gets off of those 8X hands, but the $95 does do the job. We got lucky here and got him off. Taking a good pot, and as he flicks his cards into the muck, he whispers to me, the heart never came. So our read was spot on. A few orbits later, I look down at pocket 7s in middle position, and under the gun decides to lead out for $20. This guy has been tighter than a drum since I sat down, folding faster than you can say fish. So when he opens from early position to $20, it's like he's practically shouting, oh, I've got aces, kings, or queens, and I'm not afraid to use them, or whatever. But since I'm a psychic poker player, I know exactly what he has. So it's like having a cheat code in a video game. So I'm gonna call, hoping to set mine, and maybe get all the money in with this guy whose chips have been collecting dust like a forgotten relic. I call, and so does the low jack, hijack, and the button. Come on, universe, let's see that 7. Nope, no 7 on the flop. Instead, it's ace, king, 4, rainbow, which is basically the universe's way of saying, F you. The pre-flop aggressor then comes out with a $50 c-bet. I'm out, dude. It was worth the $20, but that's it. He did end up flipping over a set of aces by the end of this hand, so my read was again spot on. But now my question to you is, if the flop came out ace 7-4, Could you have folded? I don't know if I could have. Even having the correct read. Leave your thoughts in the comments, because I'm curious to see if, even if you had a good read, if you'd be able to fold knowing you went set over set. Next hand of note, we're in the big blind with ace-king offsuit facing a $20 open from the cutoff. Folds around to us and we 3-bet to $75 and get called going heads up to a flop. The board comes out pretty good for us with ace, queen, 4, 2 spades. Out of position, I go back to my go-to move of checking 100% of my range, and he comes out for a half pot size bet of $75. I decide my hand is strong but not invincible, so for value and also some hand protection against straights and flushes, I check raise to $300. My opponent tanks for quite a while, 3 minutes to be exact, and then finally folds. He doesn't say what he has, but he asked if I had a set of aces with the ace of spades. So I must have been playing it like I had aces and then hit the set. He's close, but maybe I came on a little too strong and wasn't targeting correctly. But the open pre-flop and continue on the flop, ace queen and all the Broadway straight possibilities are in his range. Was the check raise too strong? Let me know in the comments. Next hand, we're in middle position with a couple of offsuit Broadway cards, and after a limp from under the gun, I open action up to $20 and get called from the button and from under the gun. The flop comes out ace, king, 4 and gives me the gut shot. Check from under the gun, and being between two opponents, I could check here, but seeing as how I opened action and this flop nails our range, I come out for a feeler of 1/3 pot size bet of $20. And I don't want to hear it from the people in the comments saying, oh, it's either a value bet or a bluff. No, actually, a feeler bet is 100% definitely a thing. I want to see how strong I am by how my opponents react to my bet. They usually call with weak shit and raise with strong shit. It's exactly what happens here with the button, folding and under the gun, coming out with a raise of $120. This is almost always 2 pair or a set of 4s. Either way, it's not worth chasing a gut shot. Maybe an open-ender, but not a gut shot. I do not have enough equity to continue, and I give up. But that feeler bet gave me the confidence to do so. Now fast forward a few hands, and we're in the cutoff with some more offsuit Broadways, and we open to $15. One caller in the small blind, and we go heads up to a jack, 10, ace, rainbow board. Absolutely flopped it. A check from the small blind, and we have a decision. I could c-bet and start getting money in now and potentially lose him due to the fact that, it's more hitting my range than his. Or check and allow him to catch up and get the money in on the next few streets, but also potentially lose the nuts on the board and risk him filling up or backing into a flush. These are the risks we take, but I elect to check to a turn. 4th Street peels off a board pairing, backdoor flush making 10. Just the card I was risking by checking the flop. Now the small blind takes the lead with a $25 bet. Now, I feel like I'm on the defensive for some reason. I don't think he has a boat, but a 10 is definitely in his range, as well as some backdoor flush opportunities. So, for hand protection, I raise to $100 total and get snap called. Now, I'm almost sure I'm up against either top pair with a mediocre kicker or a flush draw. He checks in the dark, which almost confirms my suspicions, and thank God a brick hits the river. Now I want to go for value. I'm targeting ace X holdings, trip 10s. I make it $125, which seems pretty callable if you ask me. Unfortunately, he must have just busted that flush draw with no other equity because he snap called my turn bet and snap folds my river bet. Maybe it seemed too much like value. If I had gone a bit bigger, maybe he'd call. Maybe it seemed bluffy at that point. Either way, we pick up this nice pot. Here's an example of when it just gets better and better. We're in the big blind with 10-9 suited, my absolute favorite hand, and after a few limps and an open to $30 on the button, I have to see a flop with my favorite hand. Even though the normal open at this table has been like $15, so to just have a cold open from the button to $30 just screams strength. especially from this particular player who doesn't seem like a for-profit player and may just be here to have some fun and splash around. Regardless, I make the call with 2 others and we go 4 ways to a 9-king-7 flop with 2 diamonds. I check out of position as I do, and it checks around. A 10 of hearts comes on the turn, giving us 2 pair, but also bringing in some straights. I put out another one of those feeler/value bets of $60 4 ways to see who wants to come play with me. I get 2 callers. Now I'm a little nervous, until that beautiful 10 of diamonds comes out on the river. Hopefully someone caught their flush that they were just smooth calling me with, and not someone who already had the straight, and now this board pairing flush making 10 halts the action. I make it $200 targeting straights, trips, flushes, pretty much anything, but I guess that was a scare card to absolutely everybody except me, because they fold all around and I get no further value. But I take in another great pot. This last hand is really just included to stick it to all the haters in my comments. We're on the button with pocket 8s facing an open from the hijack of $20. The cutoff calls, and so do we after debating a 3-bet, but ultimately deciding on a call. Everyone after me folds and we go 3 ways in position to a flop of 2, 6, 7 with 2 spades. The hijack c-bets for $35 and the cutoff folds. Unless he made a set of 6s or 7s, he absolutely whiffed this flop. I know that hit my range way more than it hit his, so I decide to raise it up here and oh wait, nope, I just called. Okay, well, all right, maybe the haters are right to some extent. The turn loses my backdoor straight opportunities, and the hijack slows down and checks. If he hit that queen, I feel like he may have just kept the aggression and continued, now picking up equity that he was faking on the flop. We check back, and now the 9 of clubs hits the river. All we have on this board is 3rd pair, and all we block is a straight that's not even really in his range anyways. He comes out for $60, and I almost snap fold, but then my Adderall starts talking to me.
Hey guy, it's me, your Adderall. Think about this for a second. He opened pre-flop, and he whiffed that flop. He could have an overpair, but he probably would have continued that on the turn. Now, he's betting the river that does nothing but bring in straights that you block, and he really couldn't have in his range anyways. This guy's full of shit, dude, and you know it, and I know it, and I know everything. I'm your 30-milligram pal, so trust me.
So I do. I call him off, and he shows ace-jack of clubs. Great hero call. I honestly would have called more after thinking about it. His betting just didn't make sense. And that board was all for me, even though technically it missed us too. Take that, comment section. I jest. I know I didn't play that perfectly, but it was a damn good call.
Booked a small win coming back to 2-5. I definitely play better at casinos than I do at my house. All you guys love to rip me apart in the comments saying like, what was my favorite comment? Thanks for the content. It's always nice to know what's going through bad players' heads. So we book a small win. I wasn't there for very long. I was only there for probably 4 hours. We got involved with some good hands, bled a little bit, but didn't lose too many big pots. Every big pot that I was in, I feel like I scooped. And now I can go to my house and blow it all. That's probably going to be a separate vlog because there was a lot of good action here. So thanks.